Hey gang, Matt from Easy Breakouts, about to start another current market trend review, but before I do, just wanted to mention that if you find this video helpful, be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. Also, you can view additional videos by visiting our YouTube channel. Alright, let's hop into our analysis. So folks, another nice day across the board. Nasdaq leading the charge, but Dow and S&P's positive. Nasdaq up almost 40 points, just within like 10 points of all-time highs here on the Nasdaq. S&Ps are actually 6 points away from all-time highs. There's an old trader saying, an adage, that markets don't trade at new highs for no reason. Right, and so we have to heed that when we see these markets trading at highs. Russell posting new all-time highs today, up at the 1309s. So across the board here, folks, we have a big bid coming into the equities, and it seems like it's coming out of the bonds. Bonds hit a new low here today. Gold had a little bit of a sell-off as well. Crude kind of settling down. But folks, it seems like maybe this might be the quote great rotation that people have been talking about for like 2 years now. Maybe we might be seeing the manifestations of this as people exit bonds and move into stocks and more risk assets. We'll have to see. Everything will be in the charts. But as always, we're going to start off here with the S&P 500 daily charts. And so taking a look at the S&P 500s today, we had a nice, I think, breach or a breakout above some critical levels. The 2180s, I've been talking about that over the last couple of videos. The fact that we've managed to now close at the 2187s, while that wasn't a huge breakaway move for the S&P 500s, what you will see, and we'll see this on the stocks in just a second, what you will see is that stocks across the board took notice of the fact that the S&Ps were trading above some prior highs, and we saw the stocks respond very nicely on both our day trades and our swing trades. So folks, here's the S&Ps, just a few points away from all-time highs. That would be here at 2193.81. Taking a look at the 60-minute charts here, you can just see how the 2180s has kind of been a sticking point, and once we got through it, kind of getting a little bit move higher and closing the day out nicely here on Thursday. And then also here, as we move over to the Nasdaq, so we've been talking about Nasdaq had a little bit of that, I don't know, like rotation or a little bit of like a tantrum here. It had a sell-off right after the elections where you saw the likes of the Facebook, Amazon, Googles, they all sold off. Now, even though these big cap tech stocks still are looking a little weak, what I think is starting to happen is underneath the surface, the smaller mid-cap names are starting to rise, and that's pulling the Nasdaqs up here. That got through those trend lines that I was looking at, got through the 5,300 whole number. That was another place I was mentioning over the past couple of videos. Folks, here we are. All-time highs on this is 5342.88. So we're about within 10 points here of all-time highs on the Nasdaq Composite. One of the things you'll see on a lot of Nasdaq stocks is this little bit of like almost like a double bottom. You see this here on the Nasdaq. So across the board, when you start looking at Nasdaq stocks, a lot of them will start to have the double bottom feel. Now here's something interesting, is a lot of the small cap stocks or the Dow components, right? We talked about the Dow up at all-time highs as well. A lot of these stocks will, and here's the Russell, the IWM, a lot of these stocks will have more of a high handle feel. So depending on what index your stock is predominantly following, the types of patterns you're going to find out there are going to vary, but they're predominantly going to be double bottoms with maybe high handles, or just a flat out high handle, like a just straightaway breakout gap and then a handle over the next 3 or 4 days. And we'll see some examples of this. But folks, that's what we're seeing across the board. And I think, what we're starting to see, maybe just the first inklings of this, is when all of the 4 major indices, the Dow, S&Ps, Nasdaq, and the Russell, all go into new highs, you're going to see a lot of stocks start behaving very well from a breakout standpoint. Okay, so just keep an eye out for that. Equities here, very strong. As we take a look at some of the external markets here, we saw the crude here kind of just backing off those 46s, coming right back down below it. Again, crude's been on a bit of a sell-off here over the last month or so, selling off, tagging the 43s, rejection off those levels, now forming a bit of a balance here after maybe a bit of a short cover rally there. Also taking a look at the bonds, just no love, breaching new lows here today. So that means on the 10-year yields, We're going to have highs here pushing up towards the 2.28 level, almost at the 2.3 level. Man, these bonds are very, very strong. Yields on fire. Again, I think that that's just the market pricing in what they think the Fed has to do. Fed's kind of backed into a corner at this point. They're probably going to raise rates. That's what the market is at least foreshadowing here or dictating via the way that the yields have been moving. And then finally here, folks, the gold trade, ooh, coming right back down to these lows. And as I've been mentioning, I would watch out if this starts to break this balance. And you can even see like there's, you could have drawn a bit of like a ascending trend line, right? This is like basically a high handle in reverse. Some would call that a bear flag setup. But as it starts to undercut some of those trend lines, some of the prior lows, it started to come off here today. And again, I've been posting here and I've been mentioning in these videos that I think the 1200s are probably a likely target, if not lower, just based upon how much rejection the gold got after trying to tag these higher levels, and the trend lines here above the 1310 just absolutely rejected on a place that was prior support, then became resistance, came right through it on that final attempt on the election night, and then just got met with a wave of sellers here, pushing it all the way down below the 1250s. Actually tried to balance out here at the 1250s for a few days before giving way to that. And now, folks, I kind of feel like the golds are looking like maybe a test of the 1200s might be in the deck here. Now, switching back to equities, we had mentioned that as the S&Ps got above the 2180s, stocks started to respond very nicely to them. Just kind of going through a couple of stocks that we've been trading here. Here's this MB. We took this swing trade right over these highs because there was a bit of like a cup with a high handle here. And look at that nice move. This triggered a bunch of our profit targets here. And we're just stringing this trade along. By the way, really great relative strength. And look at the volume, right? Starting to break out on some volume. Another one that got a nice pop today, IPHI. This was on our list this morning. We hit this first thing in the morning, breaking out on volume, right? So this is another setup. We were talking about potential double bottoms forming up. And just a couple other stocks like this ZLTQ. These guys they make a machine that freezes fat. Just unbelievable technology. But here, just getting right through these highs. We had buy points here on this stock at 41.11s. This just had a monster move here all day from the 41s ripping all the way to the 43s. And then finally, here's another stock that was on our list, WIX. And we talked about here, again, double bottom, right, with a bit of a handle. We're taking it as it's breaking out there. This is an awesome day trade. We hit it just a hair right over these 48 evens, ripped all the way up to the 49.60s, 49.70s on the day within, 3 or 4 ticks. That's like a 15-20 minute window. We were scale out sellers the whole way. And still, when you look at this chart, there's potentially setups here right over the 50 evens. Right, these would be all-time highs on the stocks. And again, those are the stocks we're trying to trade. We've been mentioning here pre-election, during the election, and post-election. The types of stocks we look at and that we trade have not changed. They never do. Now, the tickers might change, but the style of stocks are always the same. It's going to be high relative strength stocks breaking out with volume from recognizable chart patterns, and that's the ticket here. That's what we're watching. So a lot of these Nasdaq related stocks are seeing those double bottom patterns, and that's consistent with how the Nasdaq is actually shaping up. And then we're talking about a lot of the high handle setups, a lot of the infrastructure plays. Look at this, right? High handle there. High handles here potentially forming a lot of the financials as well. Looking at like the JP Morgans of the world, right? High handle there, Bank of America. So again, folks, depending on what style of stock you're trading, you're going to see different types of chart patterns. And it's interesting to see how a lot of the NASDAQs have double bottoms, whereas a lot of the Dow or Russell related names are kind of forming these high handles up near, up near their 5-year and all-time highs, really. I mean, you just look across the board, even like in the defense sector, Raytheon forming like these high handles, Boeing, high handle on top of high handles. So folks, at this point, the game plan should be to watch for recognizable chart patterns for entries and buying these stocks as they break out of proper points. And again, we covered a lot of stocks here today. I want to make it very clear these are not buy, sell, or hold recommendations on any of these stocks, but this is more just a demonstration on the types of names and the style and the characteristic of the stocks that you should be watching. Again, we've been taking a lot of live trades in our trading room. A lot of them have been working out very, very well. Here's one actually that we just closed out of, but we took this right over. There's like a bit of a cup kind of a deep handle, but we took it right over these 56s, made a nice swing trade out of it, closed it out. That's good, right? It was a great trade. Another one that we're currently working here, another one was right here. This is now a risk-free trade. So as we look to these stocks, folks, one of the main things you got to focus on is try not to let the media influence what you think is going to happen with any stock or any index or any industry group. Follow the charts, and the charts will tell all. And as you guys trade over the next few days, I just wish you guys many, many opportunities, great success, and I hope you guys keep continuing to join us for our video analysis here every single day. Hey, by the way, if you haven't done so already and you're liking the analysis, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And as a reminder, you can also view additional videos by visiting our YouTube channel. Or if you'd like to find out more about Easy Breakouts, go ahead and click that Show More right above the comments section to find out more about Easy Breakouts. But other than that, have a great trading day ahead, and may the trend be with you. Take care, everyone.